couldn't be any more bullish. Earnings were good. Let's hoping the tech trade keeps going. We're in a bullish market right now. We're going to see what's going on. Jerome Powell just ended his last term, his last meeting this past week too. We got a new Warsh coming in. We're going to see what the rest of this year is looking like. Currently, top buys are still the same on dips. Nebius, I'm adding on dips. Robinhood, I'm adding on dips. Zeta, adding on dips. AMD, not so much. I built that out. That joint gone. AMD gone. She gone. It ain't no point. But those are probably the main ones I'm still adding to. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to JRuss TV. If you're new to my channel, hit that like, comment, subscribe button to cover all things business, investing, and self-improvement content. Something you're interested in, hit that like, subscribe, and leave a comment. If you return to my channel, appreciate you tuning back in. You already know by the title. Stock portfolio update. Let's go ahead and get into it. Bottom line up front, what we're going to get into today, we're going to go over the stock portfolio, we're going to go over these big tech earnings, basically just analyze how that's affecting my positions, where we put the bread at, all those type of things. Great week, but just bottom line up front, things are looking good in my opinion from earnings. AI demand is still there. It's not slowing down. So let's get into it. Fear and greed index, I know I like to start here. We're in greed right now, we NASDAQ, S&P, we back to hitting all-time highs. My portfolio is not back at all-time highs because I do have a lot of SaaS stocks in my portfolio, and SaaS has been getting hit bad, worst quarter because of the SaaS apocalypse. Now, if we go over to the VIX currently, let us see. VIX, we are, where is it now? Let me do it bigger. On the 5-day, we're down roughly 11%. On the month, we're down 30%. The VIX has fallen crazy. Pretty simple. The VIX has fallen. Just a quick little recap. S&P 500 NASDAQ crossed the 25,000 mark for the first time, fueled by massive rally in tech shares following a strong quarterly from Apple. Yeah, Apple did a great job. That alone boosted the whole market up. So things are looking good. Apple share jumped up to 3% after beating fiscal second quarter expectations and providing a strong sales forecast for iPhone 17. Roblox, yeah, that went down. Estee Lauder gained nearly 6% following a quarterly earnings driven by growth in China, which is bullish for ELF. I am an ELF investor currently. So oil still around a 111, so hopefully we can get that under 100, but things are looking solid right now. Regarding the stock portfolio, on the day today's Friday, we're up 0.88%. On the week, we're down roughly 1.2%. On the month, we are up 29%. So this has been a great month for us. 3 months up roughly 10%. Year to date, I'm up 6%. A lot of that is due to AMD. AMD has been carrying this portfolio pretty well. And we were just red the other week, like a week or so ago, we were just red. We just broke back even. Had a big jump on the 23rd. So mainly because of AMD. So no complaints. Now to get into the stocks, Nvidia hasn't had earnings yet, but things are still looking good. Meta didn't do too well. I do have this one post I want to share just to kind of just do an overview of big tech earnings. So Microsoft, as you can see right here, Microsoft, they beat. Cloud and AI demand stays strong. Azure delivered, beat revenue by 18%. Azure is up 29%. Most people just care about the cloud business. Google had a great beat. Cloud up 63%. That's amazing. All of them did increase CapEx. CapEx acceleration commentary spooked. So Microsoft is increasing. Google is increasing CapEx again to 180 to 190 billion. They said 2027 they plan on increasing CapEx even more. Even more in 2027, guys. That's going to be very, 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 very bullish. Amazon had a big beat as well. Revenue up 17%. AWS up 28% year over year. So Amazon, Google has been going crazy. That's been the best performing Mag 7 currently, because of one, cloud growth grew 63% year over year, and then two, they increased their CapEx, which the street has been selling off companies that increasing their CapEx. But since the cloud growth has been so good, they don't even care. That's crazy. The main thing I'm gonna do is Meta. Meta beat. I've added the Meta. Ad is firing on all engines. Revenue up 33% year over year. Fastest growth since 2021. Guided for 58 to 61 billion. Ad impresses 19%. But daily active participants missed by 3.56 billion. So quarter over quarter, users dropped, which was a blame on Iran internet disruptions. But they increased in CapEx a lot, so the street sold them off, and they're not really showing where the money is going to, honestly. But overall, basic sentiment, Mag 7 did great. AI trade is still very, very alive and well, and they're increasing CapEx. What else do we want me to tell you? Now, let's get into Zeta real quick. Zeta is a big position. If you've been following me for a while, I've been very bullish on Zeta. They had an amazing quarter. Let's clap it up. Let's clap it up. Amazing quarter from Zeta. 396 million in revenue, a 50% year over year increase. That's great. 29% growth when excluding revenue. So the core business grew 29%. Scale customers up 19%, with RPU, annual revenue per user, up 21%. Achieved the rule of 67. These wins are powered by systems we built and accelerated by our successful launch of Athena by Zeta, which was part of our meaningful outperformance. A big thank you to our customers. These results reflect what we are building together. We are here to help you understand who you are reaching, engage in ways that work, and bring it all together. So great quarter from Zeta. 19 consecutive beat and raise. Everything's looking good. Reason this didn't really pump today was because the SaaS narrative is still a little iffy. So as you can see from Meta, off of earnings, like I was saying, Meta dropped 7% this week off of CapEx guide, but I'm buying here, nibbling. I added a lot to the Nebius this past week because Nebius had a little dip. AMD still going crazy. Check out my last video. Up 10% on the week, up 74% on the month. Good Lord. Good Lord, Jesus. Good Lord. Broke through them all-time highs at 350 and it's at 360 right now. You know, AMD, don't gotta say too much. Been bullish on this for a long time, guys. AMD earnings are coming up next week, so we're definitely being in depth into that. And I'm expecting a crush. SoFi, they dipped because investors lost their optimism that SoFi did not raise its current quarter guidance, keeping revenue at 30% versus Wall Street estimate of 31%. Deaccelerating revenue is something investors like to see, which can lead to short-term volatility. So they didn't increase their next quarter guidance, and they didn't really like that. Still had a great quarter, but you can see it sold off from 18 down to 16. Now, I trimmed SoFi in my main brokerage. In my retirements, I'm keeping SoFi cool, but in my personal account, I trimmed it. I added all that, the majority to Nebius, a little bit to Meta, a little bit to Elf, but the majority of that went to Nebius. And I bought when Nebius dipped. Nebius did have a little dip on the month. It dipped between this 133 to this 140. I was buying here. I was buying all through here. I put that SoFi bread. It was like a 2% position in the big portfolio, my main one. So it wasn't going to make a big of a difference, and it would have been better spent Nebius. And actually it was, because Nebius pounced back to 153. So that was a great buy. We're going to cover that again in a little bit. As far as Zeta, as you can see, Zeta did pump on earnings up to hitting 20, getting in those 20s but it's sold back off to the 18. But patience, Zeta still up 20% on the month, up 7% on the week, 8% on the week. You know, patience is key for Zeta, but overall, great quarter. I may do a video diving a little deeper into Zeta's earnings, let everything digest. Just want to get a quick portfolio update out for you guys. So this is the big boy position right here. This is my main portfolio, where majority of my money and my plays are into. This one is the public portfolio I show you guys in the Robinhood. But as you can see here, AMD has been crushing it at 23.6% portfolio weighting right now. That was just like 18, 17 a couple weeks ago. Zeta still at 15. Once that gets running, I expect Zeta to succeed all of these for real. Palantir got earnings coming up sooner next week. Nebius in 2 weeks. AMD next week. Nvidia end of the month. Robinhood had earnings as well. That sold off too, just because the cyclicality of the crypto trading volumes down, where we were in kind of like a downward market that first quarter. So next quarter should be better. Still buying Hood here. Meta been adding as well. The stocks you were bullish on 6 months ago should be the same stocks you buying. If you change your stocks every month, that strategy is not going to work for you. It might, but in the long run, it's not. You know, just gonna wrap off with some big news that Nebius just did. Bullish Nebius. But Nebius acquires Eigen AI Labs, bringing advanced inference optimization to Token Factory. Their founding team will establish a core engineering presence in the Bay Area. By integrating their model, chip, and kernel level techniques, we are solving the open source inference bottleneck, delivering materially better performance and cost efficiency out the box. Essentially, Nebius bought this company for almost $1 billion, and moving our inference stack towards the frontier. You know, this is one of the top inference companies currently. As you can see here, one of the leadership at Nebius posted this. That's how we made a decision to acquire Eigen Labs. NVIDIA is the global standard for AI inference at scale. They were number one, or tied with another company, and the Nebius was number 3. So they said, bet, let's buy them and let's combine. Jensen definitely had something to be a part of this, but that shows Nebius is becoming the leader in the inference space, especially with their software. And I couldn't be any more bullish. You know, earnings were good. Let's hoping the tech trade keeps going. We're in a bullish market right now. We're going to see what's going on. Jerome Powell just ended his last meeting this past week too. We got a new Warsh coming in. We're gonna see what the rest of this year is looking like. Currently, top buys are still the same on dips. Nebius, I'm adding on dips. Robinhood, I'm adding on dips. Zeta, adding on dips. AMD, not so much. I built that out. That joint gone. AMD gone. She gone. It ain't no point. But those are probably the main ones I'm still adding to. Nebius, Meta, Robinhood, Zeta, those companies, and sprinkle some Elf in there too. Undervalued companies that I'm adding. So, JRuss TV. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. We out.